Welcome, everybody, to, as you can see, a different screen and everything. This is the effing title presents the NFL Mock Draft 2020. Today we have with us our guests, Jeff and Sturg again. This is where you guys say something.
Oh, hello. Danke schön.
It was just real quick. I mean, it just seemed like you just didn't want us on there. You're just like, and Jeff and Sturge again.
Yeah, well, just, I mean, it's been a whole month.
Want a little more excitement for my introduction. That's all I'm asking for.
Well, I mean, I did the whole brand new screen and everything for you guys. I mean, you know.
Did you? Our logos aren't anywhere on there.
That's because neither's mine. I mean, actually, that's what mine is. But anyways,
yours is front and center, my man.
So, this is our mock draft. As you can see, all the colors and the teams. Red is Jeff, magenta is me, green is Sturge. We're gonna be doing this as if we are running each team. We're gonna even do it with a clock. We got a 5-minute clock as soon as that team is on the clock, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's it. So with that being said, Jeff, the Cincinnati Bengals are officially now on the clock.
Let's go! I mean, someone's got to fill some time here, right? I mean, because I got 5 minutes to talk, so...
Yeah, I mean,
if you take 5 minutes for this pick, I'm going to be so angry.
Why is that?
Because no one should ever take 5 minutes for any of these picks.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, this is a pretty difficult pick. I mean, I'm choosing which way this franchise is going to go, okay?
I love it.
Just saying, I mean, this franchise could just bomb after this pick, and I just screwed myself, you know?
Well, I mean, it is Cincinnati, so...
They already suck, so it doesn't really matter.
I'm going to tell you this right now. At least you're not going to do any worse than what Maurice Jones-Drew has written, so...
By the way, that's hilarious. Maurice Jones-Drew is a joke.
Oh,
Maurice
you think?
What would he have written?
Justin Herbert as the number 1 overall pick.
Nice!
Yeah. He's got so much garbage.
Herbert, but I do have a pick for you guys.
The pick is in?
The pick is in.
All right.
Look at that. Got you under a minute, so.
All right, here we go. So the pick is in.
The suspense is killing me, Jeff.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can I go?
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear it. It's like, it's got to go dun dun dun. Whatever this.
I don't have that. I don't have that set up.
Oh, my goodness. I should have brought my trade. First off, if this was really the Cincinnati Bengals, I am open to any and all trade offers. That's our first thing we're going to start off with here, guys, okay? But since we are not open to any trade offers, we are going with quarterback. No, I'm lying. Chase Young, Ohio State, number 1 pick.
All right.
Fair. Yeah.
Yep, fair. All right, so the Washington Redskins are on the clock. You guys, yeah.
So why'd you go with Chase Young over Burrows?
Well, that's what I was just about to say here. Just real quick, I mean, I forget what colors, who's doing what, but...
Greenwood's up, so you and me can talk.
Okay, Greenwood's up. So, Greenwood, you can get some time here.
Yeah,
so
I appreciate it.
I'm going with Chase Young over Joe Burrows for the simple fact that I want some young talent here. Honestly, I would trade the pick if I was the Bengals. They got so many glaring needs. I would try to find a trade partner somewhere, whatever. But...
But they also need a face of the franchise.
There is. His name's Chase Young. Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like, you're saying trade the pick. They need a face. Right now, their face is Andy Dalton.
Exactly. Well, I
understand. It's an ugly face. It's a very ugly face.
If you're trading the pick, you can trade with the Dolphins. You can get number 5. You can get a Herbert. You can get a Tua. You can get any one of those if you want to fall there. What I'm looking at is those guys are young. You got a guy that if you're getting Burrows, you're drafting a 23-year-old guy already. Why not go get someone at that age that's already proven? You can go get a Jameis Winston that's 26. Guess what? He's going to outperform Andy Dalton. I mean, why not sign someone like that? It makes no sense to me to stick with that. Instead, bring in honestly the best player in this draft, Chase Young, most dominant player. Bring him onto your team. 21 years old. Let him thrive. Let him go with your defense. And we can work from there. Like I said, I mean, it's difficult because I'm not really drafting him here because we're trading back. But since Colin put my restrictions on no trades, we are drafting Chase Young. And
can I make one point?
What's that?
It's fair to say in the last 5 years, there's been one like dominant defensive end, right? In every draft, pretty much.
Yeah.
From the Bosas to the Ingrams to all those guys. Which of those teams have actually done it? Like have done anything? Not players. Which of those teams have actually done anything?
San Fran.
It's the only one, and that took an entire rebuild.
I mean, you could say
They had a
Clowney is another one. I mean, they did well with Houston, changed that franchise around. Obviously, they went to the playoffs this year with Seattle too. I mean, I don't know what you're
But you know what I
considering
mean?
doing anything.
It's just such a I consider doing stuff like name a team that drafted a DN that's consistently now making the playoffs. Like it's just such a weird position to put.
I agree with you here. Okay, we're gonna go with this. Okay, Joe Burrows couldn't beat out JT Barrett 2 years in a row at Ohio State. Couldn't happen.
Dude, you're making. Trust me, I wouldn't. I didn't say over Joe Burrows.
So
I said over a quarterback.
What I'm saying is that Chase Young's going to help the Bengals out more than Joe Burrows will, because Joe Burrows needs talent around him to do it, and he does not have that with the Bengals.
AJ Green.
AJ Green, that's what, 32 years old, always injured. Okay, big
And he's
deal.
got Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, I can give you that argument. Well, who does he have against the offensive line? We've talked about it multiple times.
I can't name a single player on the offensive line.
They got Cordy Glenn's on the offensive line. That's about the only one I know, and that's because the Bills traded for him, and because he was often injured. But bottom line is, Joe Burrows needs talent around him to be successful. He needs a great offensive coordinator around to be successful. And I mean, obviously, we've talked about this multiple times, before this, and that's where it comes down to. I just don't think Joe Burrows is the answer. And like I said, Chase Young is going to help this franchise out more than Joe Burrows will.
That makes sense to me.
All right, Colin. Sorry for taking up.
Are you ready,
time.
Colin? Yeah, Colin. Are you ready?
1 second. I'm just looking at a name.
Just a name.
Yeah, literally a
His
name. I'm
name
just trying
was
to.
Chase Young for number 2 for the Redskins, but since he went,
No, and it's not even that. It's a person like on the team, like that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's be real. If this happened,
Okay.
if Chase Young actually got drafted first overall, the Redskins are trading out.
Oh yeah, no,
so
100%,
fast.
100% trading out.
They're trading everything.
But my pick is in though. But yeah, no. If this happens, this is worst case scenario for the Redskins. They immediately trade out. But this did happen. I'm not trading out. I'm going to go with Tristan Wirfs, Iowa offensive line.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Colin, the pig is in.
Oh, okay. So hold up a sec. Okay, so wait. The lines are on the board. Okay.
The Lions pick is in.
So my thing with this is like Trent Williams has been nowhere for the Redskins the last year or two now. They've needed a change. You have Dwayne Haskins there. You need to protect him. If he's going to do anything there, you need to protect him. This isn't a sexy pick like getting Chase Young would have been, but this is the smart pick at this position right now, because it's either this or you get Jeff Okudah, and it's like there's out of the two of them, which one's going to help you win faster? It's probably going to be Wirfs at this point.
Which one's going to keep your QB alive?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's that versus But yes, that's why I went with Wirfs here. Also, because I think Wirfs is the best lineman on the board.
I can support that decision.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Colin, the pick is in.
Okay.
Who do we got?
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready. With the third pick, the Lions select Jeff Okudah from Ohio State, defensive back. Real easy. Lions literally just traded away the only corner they have. I don't care who they signed. They don't have cornerbacks. Their defense is actually freaking awful. They have a lot of needs.
Also, it's like Jeff, the New York Giants are on the clock.
Thank you.
Now you can continue. Start.
Yeah, they have a lot of needs, and I think the first one is because we said they signed Desmond Trufant, so there's one side. Now you draft Okudah. Hopefully he becomes a shutdown corner.
Well, like I said,
now
before,
now your secondary looks pretty good with the Pats guy that they signed to what's his name?
Harmon.
Duran Harmon, yeah. And
Well, like
so
it's
now
like
they look decent.
yeah, and like I said, like we said before we got actually on stream, it was like once the Trufant was there, I was like, shit, Slay and Trufant, that's a sick two corner combo, and then like Slay's like, yeah, deuces, so like this is easy pick.
Just makes sense.
They're running to
you lost
this
one
happens.
of the best corners in the league, and now you got to replace them.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, let's be honest. If Chase Young goes a 1, the Redskins are trading out. If the Redskins do go offensive tackle, the Lions are probably trading out. I feel like almost if Chase Young goes first, no matter what teams are going to start trying to trade up.
Oh yeah, you're going to see a lot of teams trying to trade with the Dolphins, trying to trade with the Lions, trying to trade with the Redskins to try and get Burrows.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if the Lions trade out unless they get blown away. Just because the Lions, like teams that won't trade out, Lions have a bunch of picks.
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins have a lot of picks. They don't need to trade out more.
Well, my thing as well is like
they don't need to move.
You look at this, the Dolphins would never trade out of this. If anything, the Dolphins would trade up. So this puts the Dolphins in a worse position because now the team can literally jump them. Because what other than?
I think it puts the Dolphins in a better position because I know Jeff's going to make the pick, but I think what they truly want is they want Tua.
Oh, of course.
Why else would they have re-signed Fitzpatrick?
Yes and no.
They want Tua to sit. They want to make sure he's healthy, and they want to see what he's got. They'll ride another year with Fitzpatrick and get another top 5 pick next year. And they've got 20 picks this draft. Like,
yeah, but
3 first.
But this is my thing though: is if Burrows lands to them naturally, like what could happen right now. Are they still going to take Tua?
If Burrows lands to them, I would trade out.
Oh, of course.
I would trade the pick and get more draft picks. Because I don't think I think Burrows is a bust. That's just my opinion. For me, Burrows' ceiling is Kirk Cousins.
Well, yeah. I read someone said Tony Romo.
That's an issue.
Yeah, like those aren't.
Which, don't get me wrong. Like those are solid NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah, but
they are QBs that can bring you to They can bring you to one championship. They can get hot one year, and if they have enough talent around them, bring you to a championship.
That's fine. But they're not in the late first, early second.
When the bar is the QB that can be your starter for the next 20 years. That's the hard part. Is Tom Brady screwed the entire league because he did this, and now this is the bar. This is what the expectation when you spend that draft pick is. You're going to be the next QB for the next 20 years. So why don't we just have a QB for the next 5? Let's just live with the first contract. How about he's good for his first contract, and then we'll see what happens. It's the hardest position in all of sports to play.
The pick is in whenever you guys are ready.
Hey, you can
hey, from now on, interrupt us when the pick's in, because we'll keep talking.
We'll finish up our.
You know how long the draft takes when they say the pick is in on the bottom, and then 10 minutes later they actually announce it.
Well, I've been watching the clock. If the clock hit 5, then I was just going to be like, okay, what is it?
Okay.
Okay, so.
No problem, guys.
This is the Giants, you said?
Yep, Giants are on the board.
The Giants. So with the pick, what do we got? The 4th pick of the draft here. The Giants go with Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson.
Oh wow.
Yes. What's that supposed to mean, Rob?
I was going to say I'm not surprised by this one. So actually, I'll just write linebacker.
I guess I'm surprised.
Also, the Miami Dolphins are on the clock.
Yeah, Dolphins are on the clock. I'm surprised strictly because how bad the Giants need offensive linemen. Now, I understand this would be kind of a stretch, and I'm sure they're probably a team that's looking to trade out and get more picks as well. But they need desperate I guess defense makes sense because they need defensive help as well, but they desperately need linemen. Like, I'm sorry. Any team that has a new quarterback desperately needs help to protect them. And is Eric Flowers still on their team?
Eric Flowers is not. He's in Miami now.
I don't know, but there was a time where he was their best lineman, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
That's not true.
If you do remember,
come on, he's living up to his big contract.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like Nate Solder's been terrible. Their best lineman right now is probably the first rounder they got last year, Hernandez. or maybe he was a second rounder last year. But
The guard.
that's probably the best lineman they have.
Also, the pick is
Truly.
in.
Okay, excellent. Well, bottom line is, I just think that the Giants, I mean, with getting Isaiah Simmons, he can give some versatility to your defense. I do agree that they need linemen, but with Colin taking Wirfs, it just really honestly screwed up with my draft. So that's really the reason you're going with Isaiah Simmons, is he's the best player available that we had, and you gotta go
makes sense.
to get So Wirfs was their number one choice, but with obviously Chase Young going off the board and then the Redskins going with Wirfs, I wasn't ready to take Becton at that spot, in my opinion. But
fair. No, that makes sense. That's a legitimate argument, yeah.
So the Miami Dolphins are going to make the first dumb pick of the draft. The Miami Dolphins at number 5 select Justin Herbert, quarterback from Oregon.
Love it. Love it. Love seeing Joe Burrow still standing in the green room. Love it.
So the Sturg of the Chargers are on the clock. All I'm going to say is
agreeing with the pick is in.
I would say, okay.
Because you just did that, the pick is in.
So the reason why I did this is that I've been looking at a bunch of different stuff, like team wise, but also so a little bit of both. Myself, I like Herbert the best out of all these quarterbacks. But I've also been seeing a lot of stuff that's saying that the Dolphins are actually looking more at Herbert than they are Tua right now.
They need someone who can play right away.
So that's my thing. So with me liking Herbert and the fact that I've been seeing a lot of stuff saying Herbert, I'm easy clap Herbert. All right, so the pick is in?
Yes, the pick is in.
All right,
with the 6th pick in the NFL draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah, whatever. Tagovailoa. These names Tua. I'll let you tell the Panthers are on the clock.
The Panthers are on the clock.
Okay.
Jeff, the Panthers are on the clock.
This was really simple because Tyrod Taylor is a good quarterback. He is also a quarterback that's I like to call them bridgies. He's there to take the place and to hold a bridge year for a quarterback. So his job this year is going to be to do exactly what he did for the Bills. Bring the Bills on the verge, bring the Chargers on the verge of the playoffs. Maybe you sneak into the playoffs and you have a good showing and all that. But your job, honestly, is to just give us another year for Tua to take over. And then we're gonna send your ass out of here just like everyone else, or we're just gonna let your contract run out. And Tua's gonna be the franchise quarterback. This is a no-brainer. This is the easiest, highest potential. If this happens, the Chargers will be the winners of this draft. Because there's no risk. There's absolutely no risk in this pick.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, Tua sits one full year, gets healthy.
Pick is in.
Okay.
Yeah, worst case scenario, Tua sits the entire year, and you have Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, and that's
an 80 overall.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's what Tyrod Taylor's done. Baltimore, Buffalo, everywhere he's gone and he's had an opportunity to play. He's at least played well. He's played well enough to be considered a starter as he is right now in LA.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think. And that's why I think there's no risk in taking Tua because we already have a guy. It's just kind of
exactly.
We'll ride it out, and next if we have to wait a full year for Tua to take over, then we wait a full year for Tua to take over. No big deal.
Boom. All right, Jeff.
And with the
7.
What number are we on now? 7th pick, Carolina Panthers select Auburn D tackle, Derek Brown.
Oh, you suck. Oh, okay.
I think at this point, Carolina is another team that I think, first off, they need some tight end help there. Do need offensive line help, but that defensive line, they actually really don't have anyone left on the defensive line.
The Arizona Cardinals are on the clock.
Sorry, they need help on the defensive line in general.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, this kid needs some help on the defensive line. With the 3-4 base, I think Derek Brown is perfect to fit this scheme. perfect, and no one's gonna argue that. Slam.
No. I mean, honestly, if Isaiah Simmons falls to them, they would be idiots not to take him there. But I mean, with the way the board's going right now, which let's be honest, we do know is going to be a little hectic between the three of us. That just makes sense. All right, Sturg.
Let me know when you're ready, guys.
Yep.
With the 8th pick in the NFL draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Jedrick Wills, tackle from Alabama.
Jedrick Wills Jr.
Doesn't say junior, but sure.
Mine it does. But oh yeah, okay. So now the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. I'll let you guys.
Which they have a lot of issues.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna let you guys talk a little bit. Let's just put it like that.
So, yeah, I mean, honestly, the reason for this one is just they got a QB that needs to be protected. I mean, if I found out anything from the first year watching these guys is I saw Kyler Murray did improve. He got better as the year went on, which is very important for a small QB like that. And he needs to be protected. Very plain and simple. If he can be protected, he has the potential to be dangerous in this league. And I also think Kyler Murray and Tua's games are very similar. So Jedrick Wills has experience going against blocking for mobile QBs and stuff like that. So I think he fits in right away at their right tackle slot and helps out right away for him.
I can support that, I guess. I mean, I think
I was gonna go defense, but I think the two spots that they really want to go are, they're probably looking highly at Isaiah Simmons and Derek Brown, and both of them are off the board. So the next thing for them was to get a lineman, because I think they're definitely in a boat where they're looking for a second round offensive lineman, and right now it's really first round's defense. That's really where they're looking and stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, it's the way the board's fallen so far.
Perfect. I like it. All right, Colin, up to you, buddy.
All right, with the 9th overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Javon Kinlaw, D-tackle from South Carolina.
That is an interesting one.
Really?
Just real quick, the pick is in for the Browns, but I want to hear why.
Looking at the board right now, they do have a lot of needs. But looking at it, they need corner, they need D-line, they need edge, O-line, running back, in that roughly in that order. Edge and O-line, I feel like we can get later. As we've talked before, there's still a lot of potential later. I'm going to have another pick coming up here at 24. So I don't think I'm going to be able to find a D lineman like Kinlaw later in the first. So I'm going with Kinlaw earlier than trying to, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I can get a corner. I feel like I can get no lineman. I feel like I can get an edge rusher. I feel like all of those will be available at 24. I don't feel like there's a D tackle like Kinlaw available at 24 that's worth taking him at 24. Because I mean, the next D tackle is Galeman, Gallman, Davidson. I don't even fucking know who that one is. Madubuki. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Like, there's just it's a weird pick because I mean, I feel like they're in a shit position because I mean, like most of the ones I'm seeing on my screen here say C.J. Anderson, by the way. And you guys know I'm not a big fan of C.J. Anderson, but it's just like the one I'm seeing here: C.J. Anderson, Tua, Becton, Wirfs, Derek Brown, Isaiah Simmons. Almost there's nothing similar across the entire board. So
be ready, because they're gonna be getting out. They're looking to. I mean, from the sounds of it, with this new Leonard Fournette thing too, they're gonna be. They're selling ship real quick.
As they should be.
All right, Jeff. Let
They
me
should
get
be, yeah. They should be
up
getting
here.
ready. They're kind of like my Madden team, you know? We're getting ready for Dublin. They're getting ready for London, dude. That team's getting sold and moving to London.
Mhm.
It's
They have to,
happening.
right? They're
It's
going
it's gonna
somewhere.
happen. Yeah.
I mean, their owner's a financial guy anyway. That's all he cares
Well,
about is the money.
I'm
So.
pretty sure, but I'm pretty sure next year they're signed up for 3 London games.
Oh, probably.
Oh,
Wouldn't
are
doubt
they?
it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I think that's the deal is they're trying to move to London. But anyway,
All right.
London.
you said the
All
pick was
right.
in, Jeff?
The
What we
pick
doing with
was
the
in
Browns?
the 10th overall pick. The Cleveland Browns select offensive tackle Louisville, Mekhi Becton.
Ooh, interesting, especially after what came out today about him.
Yeah, he failed his what test was what he failed
Drug test.
drug test, right?
Not true. Not true. He did not
Anyway,
fail his drug
Laramie
test.
Laramie Tunsil did too on draft night.
Yeah.
wasn't-
God, that was
it
the most
wasn't a
beautiful
failed
thing
drug
ever.
test.
Also, the
It
Jets
was,
pick is in.
I don't want to say tainted, but it was something.
I'm the
along
Jets.
those lines.
Oh no, you're the Jets. Damn it.
They never actually said he failed. But anyway, real quick, I mean, the Browns. Did you ever announce the next person on the line?
Yeah, it's me, and then the
Okay,
Jets are up.
Perfect. Okay.
The Jets are up. The
Just real
Jets up.
quick.
The pick is in.
Okay, real quick though, Mekhi Becton choice. I think it's pretty simple. The Browns need offensive line help. They put the pieces around Baker Mayfield elsewhere. I don't think he's the answer, but that's beside the point. They signed Conklin to a 3-year deal in the offseason. I don't think you're going to move him to right tackle or move him from right tackle. So I think you got to stay with a big guy on the opposite side. Dude's got huge arms, big guy, moves well for his size, and I love it. I love it. Joe Thomas is coming back, guys. Coming back.
Except
All right,
not white.
Not white, but still, he's coming back. He's gonna make it happen. Let's go.
I think he's a good player. I don't. The hard part is he fits the system too because if you really look at it, Louisville was 100% zone blocking. They did no man scheme. Like Freddie Kitchens last year, all he does is pull people. They don't run wide zone. Like they're big pulling guys. But I'm blanking on the new head coach's name. I'm blanking tonight. Jesus. Big zone team though. Very big zone team. Which Mekhi Becton, that's all he's ever run is zone. So it is a good fit. Schematically, all that good fit. Big, long, athletic guy. It makes sense. It's a good pick.
Yeah, personally, I don't like Stefanski as what he did in with Minnesota, but I mean, I'm gonna let that slide. You got to use your guys better. You got to use Delvin Cook, and hopefully he learns from his mistakes over there.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
With the 11th pick, the New York Jets select CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver
Yep, receiver's a good choice. Very good choice.
from Oklahoma. I mean, let's be honest, it's going to be one of the two of them. And as we already went over before, I like CeeDee Lamb just a little bit better, or just a little bit more than Jerry Jeudy. I think they're both incredible, but yeah. There we go. So the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock, Sturge.
Pick us in.
Joe Burrow's dun keeps going.
That's funny because that's like the one thing in chat right now is just like Burrow. What happened to Burrow?
Burrow is not the answer, and it's gonna stay that way.
Yeah,
Next.
If you've been paying attention, this group hates Joe Burrow.
yeah, we're not on the Burrow bandwagon. Hey, that rhymed. All right,
Did rhyme. That was clever.
thank you.
All right. So, are you guys done talking about the other one?
Yeah,
No,
we're
I mean,
good.
yeah, we're.
All right. So the Raiders are interesting. I would have gone with Javon Kinlaw, a defensive tackle here, or if Auburn's Derek Brown was still available, they're going to go there. They really need defensive line depth is what they need. But because that's all gone, they're going to stay on the defensive side of the ball. For some reason, John Gruden he's not a big offensive first round guy. If you look even back when he was with Oakland, he's a big he likes drafting athletes on defense so that they can play the nickel defense and all that stuff. So I have a feeling they're going to go corner C.J. Henderson.
Okay, interesting.
I think that makes the most sense for their skill set right now. He'll be a good nickel corner / second corner for them.
Okay.
So Jeff, the Niners are on the
pick is in.
clock. I don't even why I had the timer. Only thing I want to say right now, real quick, is I got the NFL mock drafts up just so I can kind of see what it looks like compared to what we've done. Everyone Raiders: CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy.
But see, everyone's thinking of the old school Raiders where it wasn't John Gruden picking. John Gruden's picking. It's not like they got to get over that whole what it was Butch Davis. They got to like it's not Darius Hayward Bay isn't who's getting picked. They are going to go defense. John Gruden loves picking defense in the first. Hell, he drafted what? He drafted freaking the D lineman from Clemson last year. Why the hell
Isaiah
did he go in the
whatever the
first
fuck his
round?
name is there, yeah.
Yeah, like it's stuff like that. Like he wants defensive players because he's one of those coaches that's cocky and thinks my offense isn't built to score fast. My offense is to run the ball with Josh Jacobs and play action pass with Derek Carr. We're gonna finally do it, and I've got good enough receivers to get it done right now. They'll wait till the second and third round and they'll go stock, but they'll draft 2 or 3 receivers this year. Don't get me wrong, but they don't need to do it right now.
Yeah, no. All right, Jeff, what we got?
Who we got?
What we got? What's going on here, Jeff? What are we doing at 13?
You know who we're going with. You know. So with the 13th pick, the 49ers select wide receiver, Alabama,
Yeah, that's obvious.
Jerry Jeudy.
No,
I mean, I don't
honestly,
think
it makes perfect sense.
I honestly would not have gone with. I was going to go Henderson. I think they do need help on that side of the ball, especially with Richard Sherman getting to be like 60
The Tampa Bay
years
Buccaneers
old,
are on the board, by the way, but go ahead.
moving slow. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just
But, I mean, once Henderson goes off the board, they got to move back to replace Emmanuel Sanders.
That's
Give
what I
some
was
more
thinking.
help to Garoppolo.
Got to replace him.
I mean, they have to. It's just,
Well,
that offense was completely different with Sanders over there, opposite of Debo.
Jerry
Kendrick
Jeudy,
Bourne's-
very similar to Julio Jones, minus the 6'6" thing, but
Yeah, I mean,
skill-wise, route running, and that's what Shanahan comes from, is that type of tree. So might be
Completely
very beneficial. I see. I think they won't even go with corner first because they got 2 picks in the first round. I think the first pick is going to be receiver. If it's available, I think they're going receiver, and then they'll go corner later just because the huge drop off.
Yes. Yep.
But I'm with you. I love that. That makes perfect sense. See, I think it's going to end up being CeeDee Lamb, though, because I think the Jets are going to get Jeudy. Because the Jets want a burner. Because they don't. They literally. I can't even name a Jets receiver now.
Rob, can you do me a solid here real quick? Well, Colin's thinking here. He's down to 4 minutes. But the Colombian wants to know, why didn't you all pick Burrows as the number 1 pick? Rob, can you just put this on blast real quick? Is Burrows the answer?
Hold
Also,
on.
the pick is
chat. How do I see the chat?
Are you on a
Click
computer?
on it? No, I'm on my iPad. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Doug Colombian, if you're listening, this is a very, very simple answer. If you look at the entire LSU team, out of that offense, they've got about 7 players getting drafted this year. Joe Burrows didn't start for that team last year, 2 years ago. He couldn't even beat out the Ohio State kid.
Couldn't
So
even beat
why
out JT Barrett his freshman
Who, by
year.
the way, who doesn't play anymore.
And then his second year, couldn't beat out JT Barrett, couldn't beat out Dwayne Haskins. He was their third option at Ohio State.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think, it comes down to this. Joe Burrows is going to get picked in this first round, but with this group thinks, and it's probably the only pick that we really disagree with everybody else in the world on, we do not think Joe Burrows is a NFL quarterback. He is a very good, he will be like a Kirk Cousins. He will be like a Alex Smith. But I'm not drafting that person in the first round, or at least in the top 10.
No. I think he was.
We also
I
said,
think
if
he was
you've been
like,
paying attention, we did say a lot of these teams, we would suggest trading the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
And then another team might come in to take Joe Burrows. And we've even said a couple of times, like, this team's probably going to pick Joe Burrows. But this is what we would do if we ran the team. And we all agree that Joe Burrows is a product of his environment and the talent around him. and not so much his skill set as it is.
Yeah, I was going to say it was I feel like it was very much a big right person, right place.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those same question marks that the dude's only technically he's really only started what 16 games, 17 games. He started the end of his
He
junior year.
literally did the exact same thing that Trubisky did, but he did it at
I was
at a
gonna
higher
say,
level.
But he started a couple more games.
Oh yeah, no,
Yes,
because
yes.
Trubisky
his
started like
junior
2
year- he
games
started-
at the end of his junior year. This guy started
Yeah.
like 3 or something like that. It was
And again,
like,
Trubisky just didn't have any talent.
yeah,
No, don't get me wrong. I think Burrows is a little bit better than Trubisky, but I mean, I see that same timeline. Like, I think Burrows is probably going to get drafted by the Bengals, and you'll hear about him for 3 years, and then you'll never hear about him again because he's going to get kicked out of the league.
well, and that was one of the things I meant to bring up, and it was just because I was the next one. But like with the Bengals going Chase Young, I was meant to say I like the pick, Jeff, because it makes me think of what the Houston organization said when they picked Mario Williams, and their thing was that they don't want to try. They're not going to get a quarterback and then try to get into a scoring race with Peyton Manning. They need to stop Peyton Manning, and an easy way to do that is through the D line. And that was that thinking. So my thinking is this: is that you get Chase
how
Young
are they
against
gonna shut
Baker
down
Mayfield,
Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson, and an old Ben Roethlisberger.
Chase Young is gonna get after him.
But-
Let's go.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick is in at number 14. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle from Georgia.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. You got an old ass QB you got to protect.
So let's see here. So Sturg, you were on the board with the Broncos.
Yeah, pick is in.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna click the button for the.
We can go.
Talk though,
Yeah.
yeah, talk. Let's talk about the Buccaneers picking.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Why Andrew Thomas? Why him? Why not another tackle?
I like my tackles in order was Wirfs, then Becton. Actually, it was Wirfs, Thomas, then Becton. But I like Thomas. I think he fits. And then like you look at the rest of what the Buccaneers need. They need a running back, D line, quarterback, safety. You're not taking a running back 14th overall. It's not happening. D line. Other than what? I mean, Yurter Gross Matos as an edge, and Cheeson from LSU as an edge, but that isn't what they mean when they say D line.
Yeah.
We know that. We know that when they say D line, they mean big boys. They mean D tackles. I don't think there's anyone high enough. So I mean, it's a nice I think they're in one of the safest spots in the draft because no matter what, someone is going to fall to them, or like Andrew Thomas or Josh Jones. It's just they're just going to be there. Nice easy pick right there, in my opinion.
All right.
No, I see. I think if they're going to pick, I think that's a smart pick. I think they're definitely a team that's going to be looking to trade out. Because I think they're a team that. They need O-line help, but if the top 3 O-linemen are gone by this point, they're out.
When that's the thing is
they're
like
going to try and move back,
this
or
is
they're going to
the
try and get another D tackle or something. But right now in this draft, I mean, I
Yeah.
think we have half of the picks are linemen or D linemen.
Well, I mean, and it kind of it goes to show you it's that all 3 of us have
What
a very
position did we play in college?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah.
we all have a very similar mindset when it comes to this as well.
Yeah, there's only one way to win games, man. But
In the
hey,
trenches.
the Colombian, real quick. Yes, the Pats are going to take a tight end with the 3rd round or 4th round. That kid from Dayton. That's who they're going to
Yes,
take.
they'll definitely take one. Definitely, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think there's a tight end that's probably gonna go in the. You might squeeze one in at first, but yeah, they're definitely gonna
No
take
way.
one. I agree. They have to take one. It's just easiest way to help out a young
or they're
quarterback.
going to trade with the Buccaneers at some point with one of these picks,
OJ.
and they'll try and get
Ooh.
OJ Howard out of it.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's the
actually
sleeper because they tried to get OJ Howard at the trade deadline this past season, and it fell through. So the hard part is they don't have a 2nd round pick.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Jarrett Stidham, OJ Howard swapping places back to being backup for Tom Brady. Just throwing it out there. Just saying.
Not a bad idea. Well, honestly, so one of the people I thought Greenwood was going to go this route. It's who the Broncos are picking with the 15th overall pick. The Broncos will pick Joe Burrows in this situation, and I thought this is the way you were going to go. Yes,
they
I don't.
like-
I don't think they're stupid.
Ooh,
This
they like
is
Locke.
my opinion. They're stupid. Drew Lock is terrible. Drew Lock is
I'm
Oh,
terrible.
just saying they like him.
Jeff, you are on the clock right now.
I'm on
And
the clock. What?
Yep, you're on the clock with the Falcons.
now, also one thing with this, Jeff, just so that you know, Jeff,
Sorry,
you
go
have
ahead.
back-to-back picks
Yeah.
here, just so you know.
I know, weird. Weird.
Just letting you
Falcons
know here.
picks in,
So
by the way, but
the reason for the Joe Burrow's pick right now, because I agree, I think they do have a more pressing need on defense. The problem is the top two corners are taken, and the top two the top two defensive linemen are taken. So we're too early to pick a linebacker that's not named Simmons, and we're at a point where, you know what? Why don't we, if we do love Locke, let's throw Burrows in the mix. Maybe we can trade Joe Flacco and get a 6th-round pick for him later on or something. I don't know.
They cut Joe.
Oh, did they cut him already? Good, because he sucks. So I mean, you need a backup. Why not give Locke some challenge? Why not give him?
Let's see. What's the worst that happens out of this? You trade one of the two of them later on.
I don't think you have to trade either of them.
I understand, but like
Joe Burrows, and what's the difference between him and Brian Hoyer?
True.
Let's be honest. Until we see it, I hope he plays really well and proves me wrong, but I think he sucks.
Okay, no. So Swamp Thing, yeah. So we're doing it. So I have the Dolphins. I picked Justin Herbert. There actually is a lot of talk for the Dolphins picking Herbert instead of Tua or Joe Burrow. Apparently, they like Herbert a lot. So yeah, that's that one though. All right.
sorry, 1 second. I'm trading this down.
Swamp Thing, no trades allowed in this draft.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there would have been a lot of them.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why I did it, because it would have caused fucking mayhem on my end as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, because then
Yes,
I
it
just
would've.
mortgage my future. I'm giving you the next first rounders. For
Well,
the
yeah, I
next
mean,
6
yeah,
years
I'm
to
literally
come.
just, yeah, I'm just gonna say to people, you know, like, I'll give you 10 years worth of first. Let me get this one, because I mean, we're only doing the first
And
round. So
anything you say to me, I'm turning down, Colin. Just so you know.
shocking.
Okay, Falcons. I think this is probably their easiest pick of the draft for them. Easiest pick. You guys know where I'm going? Come on. Number 16, Atlanta Falcons select edge LSU Clavin Chasen. Thoughts, guys? Thoughts?
I don't know about easiest pick, but sure.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, they lost Adrian Claiborne and Vic Beasley in free agency. Huge need up front. They need pass rushing. He fills in, slots in from day one. They had to. They don't really have a choice there.
didn't they also just trade, or didn't they just get rid of Vic Beasley as well?
What?
Didn't they just get rid
That's
of
what I said.
Beasley?
Yeah, they lost Claiborne and Beasley
Yeah.
in free agency. Yep. Yeah, so,
I agree. I
that's-
mean, if they have to make a pick, I agree with you. I think they're going to pick there, but I mean, this is the draft. This is going to be a draft where a lot of people trade down because it's.
I feel like a lot of people are going to
players-
trade down, but then also I feel like the confident and the organizations that have a lot of faith in their staffs will trade up. Like I can see
lot of people are gonna trade back
Baltimore
just because of what's going on. Too.
Oh yeah,
like you don't. Know
well, like, that's what I'm saying.
lot-
It's like a Baltimore or a New England. They're trade up because they believe in their scouts. They believe they have a lot more
Yeah.
faith in some of these other
No, yeah.
teams.
I think you will see a lot of those playoff teams trading up. Now, not the Patriots because they literally don't have anything. They don't even have a 2nd-round pick because.
Right. I was just using it as an
apparently
example.
Mohamed Sanu is important, even though he blows.
Yeah, I didn't even change it just so.
No, I agree. I agree with you though. I agree with you, Greenwood. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know about Clavon Chasen. We'll disagree there, but okay. Because you know who I think's better,
Yeah.
but that's just my opinion.
We'll let it happen. With the what are we at? 17? 17?
It's 17.
Cowboys select. Actually, the Cowboys reach
Ooh.
on Alabama cornerback Trevon Diggs.
Okay.
Oh, you bastard. Okay.
I think they're reaching for it. I don't like picking him here, but they desperately need cornerback help, especially with losing Byron Jones. Colin, sorry, you can announce your next. Dolphins are on the clock,
Yeah,
guys.
Dolphins are on the clock.
Dolphins pick is
They
in.
definitely
Yeah,
need
Dolphins
help.
pick
I
is
mean,
in.
that's no questions asked. They need help
Even
there.
though that's your pick.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
Sam, yeah.
sorry.
It's
Oh, no.
No, you guys can keep on.
No, yeah, I mean, so, they needed, need help. I would have loved the Bills to bring him in. because I'm selfish and I want Stephon Diggs to be with his brother. But I think he's a better ball skills. Kind of really the same fit as Byron Jones. I mean, nice size, length, but I think he has better ball skills than Byron Jones. Byron Jones can go have fun making his money and not winning games, but do what he's got to do. That's what I'm going to say.
I know you say it's a reach, but I honestly, I mean, if you need a corner, you need a corner.
Yeah, I
You
mean
know
the
what
only
Like,
other one
it's-
really between. I mean, what you got? AJ Terrell from Clemson. You have Tristan Fulton from LSU. I mean, Jeff Gladney from TCU. I mean, out of all of them, right there, it's like Diggs kind of makes sense.
Makes
I
sense to me.
appreciate your support.
Okay. Dolphins.
You have more support on the Diggs pick than you do on the Chase pick.
Come on.
Dolphins pick is in. With the 18th pick, the Miami Dolphins are going to select Josh Jones, offensive tackle, Houston.
Dude, you are just loading up on linemen with all these teams. Jesus.
Real quick, I want to go back before he starts making this comment. If I was the Cowboys in that pick, real quick, I would have been selecting Joe Burrows if he did not get taken 2 picks prior. 100%
Let
would have
Dak
gone
walk,
with Burrows.
I would've
Let
too.
Dak walk. Doesn't want his $40 million. He can go. They'll trade him on draft
So
night.
Sturge, I'm
He'll be
assuming
gone.
that
I
the
just wanna put
Raiders
that
are on
out
the
there.
clock, so I'm not even going to put them on the clock. Just
Yeah, no, the pick isn't.
Yeah.
So also, I would have said before that too, what you said, Jeff. The only other thing besides corner with the Cowboys, I would have looked at O-line because didn't their tackle Doug
center.
Doug Free retire?
Well, in the center, Travis Fredrickson or Fredericks retired.
Fredericks.
Yeah, the center.
Yes.
They both retired. Oh yeah, so I mean they do need O-line help, but obviously, I mean Josh Jones. I know we took him on the 18th pick, but I think Josh Jones probably projects more as a late first, early second rounder.
This was one of those things
So this
where
is kind of a reach.
This was a reach. It was either me reaching here for OT or me reaching here for edge, and I felt like I can get an edge at 26. I think it is that I'm picking again with the Dolphins. Yeah, so it's kind of I was more playing the board than anything.
What's funny is I would have picked this person for the Dolphins, but I'm going to pick him for the Raiders.
Yeah, I already know who you're going to pick.
So with the 19th overall pick, Henry Ruggs,
Ooh.
wide receiver from Alabama.
Never mind. That's not who I was thinking. Yeah.
Get on the board.
No.
So that answers your
Jesus. All right.
Wide receiver help there.
Yeah.
There was another player that if he keeps falling to my next.
Yeah, that's the one that I think we both were thinking.
Green pick.
Come on, Rob.
The Jacksonville Jaguars
on
the clock.
On the same page.
All right, so we got to keep talking because Colin doesn't have his pick in. Oh my goodness, Henry Ruggs.
Yeah, Jesus.
Honestly,
I know, right? This is the first one in a little bit where
he's fast. He's a solid. He's a good receiver. I mean, he's someone that projects. He's not gonna play over. I mean, what they have? Is it Tyree Williams or what? They have Tyrone Williams. Tyrone Williams. If he can stay healthy, they've got the dude from Clemson, Hunter Renfrow.
Yep.
The tight end came out of nowhere this year, but I mean,
they
really don't have.
They did sign Nelson Aguilar too, though. You gotta think about that too. They do have Zay Jones waiting in the balance there, which they like
but
for whatever reason.
He can never stay healthy or catch the ball.
Not that this really matters, but can we just talk about their quarterbacks, guys?
Also, picks them.
Wait, real quick before you do that, can we talk about how the two receivers you just named literally have issues catching the football? Nelson Aguilar and Zay Jones, like they can't catch the ball. This is a big issue.
So did their other speedster they got back, whatever. The one we mentioned earlier.
That was before John Gruden.
Pre-John Gruden. But anyway, I just saw this. I just wanted to kind of bring it up when the Raiders were on the board. But they have Derek Carr, Mariota, Kaiser, and Peterman. All have started games in the NFL. Why do you have 4 of them on your roster? I don't know. Get rid of them. Dump them. What are you doing? All right, John.
I truly believe this. Truly believe this. Don't be surprised if the Raiders are one of those teams that's trying to shop Derek Carr, but trying to move up in this draft to get a QB. They've got 2 first-rounders. Don't be surprised if they put 12 and 19 together to get 2 or 3 from the Redskins or Lions to try and move up to get a QB.
Okay.
Don't be surprised at all, because I mean, John Gruden is the quarterback whisperer. So if he really likes one of these four, don't be surprised if they move up
The
to go do
quarterback
that.
whisperer, that's cute. All right, the
Very
Jacksonville
cute, right?
Jaguars pick is in.
Who do we got?
At number 20, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Yurta Gross Matos, edge
Fuck you.
from Penn State.
Interesting.
So this one I had to look at a little bit, as you
Real
can
quick,
tell.
Colin. The Eagles are on the clock.
Yep, Eagles on the clock.
Is that me?
Yes.
That's me.
Oh wow, actually, yeah, cool. I get to put the clock on for a moment.
Oh yeah, you can. You stole my pick. So
So at 42, the Jaguars pick again. The Jags need corner, edge, O-line, and running back.
Quarterback.
Corner is going to be available at 42. I feel. No, you said quarter.
you don't believe in Mustache Man?
Nope. He's not the answer. He never will be the answer. But it doesn't really matter because after this year, Doug Marone's going to be gone after this team just garbage. So bring in the next guy. He'll get the top couple picks here, and maybe he'll land Trevor Lawrence.
My thing is I have 2 picks in this with the Jags in the first. I'll let fucking Mustachio there play for a little bit and start and build around other positions that we need because dear God, everybody wants out of Jacksonville apparently. So I'll gladly start rebuilding this defense a little bit while letting him do what he wants. Sure, let him fucking rock and roll.
I can support that. I was just curious. I mean, I don't believe in.
I see that's the thing. Like I don't know.
Minshew.
I don't know about Minshew. I want to see more before I will make a decision. But my thing right now is that I'm not going to waste one of these picks on a potential versus I need defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. And like I said, the Jags pick, that was one of the things I was looking up, was when they picked again. They pick at 42. I feel like at 42, there might be a corner still that has fallen out of the first at 42 more than an edge rusher. So
I'm just trying to figure out why the Eagles are still on the clock right now. That's my real question, but that's for another time, I guess.
Because it's one of two. It's one of two players.
There is not a question who it should be.
Yeah, no, I'm even gonna say this one. There's I think there's one, and that's it. They take this guy.
But okay, I mean we can keep talking. It's fine.
You can put the pig. The pig is in.
I feel like we just provoked him into doing this.
No, I mean it's still one of two players, but I'm just gonna go with my gut on this one.
All right, send it.
The 21st pick, the Eagles select Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. Linebacker.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Why are we going with him? The picks on the.
I was really hoping that you were going to go Patrick Queen because I know you like Patrick Queen.
No, I think went with him just because linebackers they're very similar to the old I can't think today. Old Cowboy scheme where they big 4-3, like the blitz, all that stuff. So I think he's a good fit in that system because he is someone who can run sideline to sideline. And right now, I mean, cornerbacks will reach if you're going to try and go there. O-line, the only O-lineman left in our draft is Cesar Ruiz. I mean,
that's a guard.
He's a center / guard, so we're not picking him. Safety, we're still reaching, and I guess wide receiver because we lost Nelson Aguilar. But I mean, the next best one, that was the one I was picking.
Is going to the Minnesota Vikings at number 22. Justin Jefferson, LSU.
That's who we were picking between. So
the only thing I was going to say, the only thing I want to say, I'll write this in while before Jeff says stuff. I saw something online recently saying that there could be a potential trade between Baltimore and Philadelphia, so Baltimore can trade up to get Kenneth Murray.
Interesting. Okay, how would you feel about that? Just curious.
I would love it. I want a athletic linebacker playing in the middle.
So moving forward, obviously in our draft it does not work, but the Patriots are on the clock. The Patriots are also looking to draft Kenneth Murray, but the Pats pick is in.
Okay, hold up a second. I'm blanking on what the fuck I was about to do. Oh, there we go.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous, guys. ridiculous. You won't even let me talk to you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was waiting for you to start talking while I was like
40
looking to do stuff.
4-4-3. Love it. Obviously, he was in a prolific offense last year, led by none other than the number one overall. Oh wait, he wasn't number one overall pick. But besides the fact, he was led by Joe Burrows, who isn't even a good quarterback. But guess what? We kind of compared him to a guy named Kirk Cousins. So if he can put up similar 100-yard reception, 1,500 yards, I'll take it. I mean, bottom line is they got rid of Stephon Diggs, traded for the Bills. Well, this is the Bills' pick. Make it happen, guys. Get your replacement for Diggs, and I think he's the answer, Justin Jefferson.
I mean, it's hard to argue with anything you just said. So.
He's much bigger than
Yeah,
Diggs.
I mean that's like, he's just a bigger
and just as fast. I mean, so how can you argue with those? I mean, that's
all right, Sturg.
I think you got
real quick. Can we take a quick commercial break so I can refill my whiskey?
Yes, we were taking. Well, here, you know what? You're still on the clock. How about that? How about we just do that?
All right, so you got. I mean,
that's fine.
Colin,
I'll be back.
Yeah,
the pick is in, but I'll be back.
Yeah, I like that, Jeff. I think
it just had to. I mean,
well, I mean, and that's the thing. You look at the rest of the receivers that are on, or the other receivers right now. I mean, what, you're not taking the kid from Arizona State. You're not taking T. Higgins. I wouldn't say you take Laviska simply because he's more of a like overall playmaker.
Honestly, for me, I thought Rob was taking Justin Jefferson with the Eagles pick.
I didn't. I thought he was going to take Patrick Queen. That was my thinking.
See, my thing with the Eagles, he just...
Did I not look that one up?
Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Nelson Aguilar, they missed so many games last year. Alshon Jeffrey is even going to be back in Philly. They need a receiver. I mean, is Arcadia Whiteside or whatever, Arcega Whiteside, is he really, is he going to come up to, be that guy that they wanted to be? I don't know. I mean, you need to find a replacement. And honestly, if he did take Jefferson, my next one was going Denzel Mims. I think he kind of fits the same thing that Diggs would have provided for you, and I would have gone there with it. But
makes sense.
Yeah, I think it would. But that's where I'm coming from.
Also, I'm just going to throw this one out there right now while we're in this, still in this wait period. I completely didn't write down that I had the Saints pick, so I'm literally just scrambling right now to look to see who they need.
Oh, you're good.
Wicked good. I also put on my thing. I put the Dolphins having the 20th pick. So I mean, my sheet here is all fucked up. Is what I'm getting at.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Even though I think I like it. This one page has a name written on it, and as soon as I see it, I'm like, yep, that's probably what I'm gonna do. So,
yeah, I want to know who Rob's coming. Is he going to come in and replace Tom Brady? What's he doing?
I think so. This is just. I think he's going to go Love. I think he'll go Love at this position.
That's what I was going to guess too.
You look at the board. You look at the board that we have left. I mean, it's what? Other than that, the only thing I can see is Patrick Queen. But I mean, do they really need an inside backer? You know what I mean? Like if you look at the way that our board has fallen.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is, do they really need one? I think they need a quarterback more. I don't know if Stidham's the answer. I don't really know if anyone does. But
well, again, that's the thing. Is like, it's been so long since we've.
Bubba real quick.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Booba, not Bubba.
Booba. But yeah, no, it's one of those weird ones because this has been the first time in how many fucking years since they haven't had a this is our guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well exactly. It's new territory, and as a Bills fan, I absolutely love it. Love it. So, Rob must be.
The pick is in.
Okay. You actually have 2 minutes left on the new timer as well.
My dog pee too.
Wow, getting a lot done in 3 minutes.
All right, what do you got, Rob?
Oh, with the 23rd pick in the NFL draft, the New England Patriots select Patrick Queen for linebacker LSU.
Ooh, I was right. Shit.
That's a real easy.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So yeah, I'm literally my pick is in as well, but I'm going to wait a little bit. I mean, I'm gonna just let you go through it. But why? So, we both while you were gone said that we thought you were going to take Love.
They don't. So here's the thing you have to remember. Okay, they have So they have Stidham and they have Brian Hoyer. They brought Brian Hoyer back. They also have, I think, Cody Kessler on the roster. So the thing is, you got to remember this. Everyone keeps thinking like Hoyer's going to start the season out here for some reason. They're like, oh, Hoyer's the guy, and Stidham's going to he's not ready yet. People forget that Stidham beat out Hoyer last year. Stidham
True.
was the backup. They brought in Cody Kessler to play scout team quarterback so that Stidham could get first team reps while Brady was recovering from whatever phantom injury he had during the week. So I mean, like they believe
Actually, you
in
know what?
Stidham.
The Saints pick isn't in.
I don't think they're not going to draft a. They are going to draft a QB at some point, I think, but I think it's going to be someone like Jalen Hurts in the 4th or 5th round. Someone like the dude from Princeton in the 4th or 5th round. It's going to be someone who very low risk. One thing that Bill Belichick, he's really not good in the 1st or 2nd round. If you look at his whole 20-year track record, he's actually pretty bad. But one thing that he's actually I don't think he's ever been wrong on. I mean, the worst pick he did at it was Brandon Spikes. He's really good at drafting 1st-round linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
From Gerard Mayo to Dante Hightower, Jamie Collins was a 2nd-round pick. They had Juwan Bentley was a 2nd-round pick. They've had a lot of success drafting linebackers, and they just lost a lot of linebackers. They just lost Jamie Collins again. They just lost Kyle Van Noy. So I think Patrick Queen's a safe pick that they need. They need young athletes on this team. And that's the biggest. So what I truly think they're going to do, I think they're going to trade out. They're either going to trade up if they can to draft a quarter. I think the 3 QBs they're interested in is Tua, Herbert, and maybe Burrows. If those 3 are available, they will trade up to go get them. If not, they're probably trading the hell out because they don't have a 2nd-round pick. I think they have like 3 3rd-round picks and crap like that. So they're gonna be very heavy. But their biggest thing is they need to get younger. They're so old. I think even getting rid of Brady, they're still the oldest team in the league. Like, how's that possible? Like,
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
They need to get younger, and they need to get younger on defense. Because when you're playing a young QB in the NFL, your defense has to be really good because they have to keep you in a lot of games when he makes a lot of mistakes.
Okay.
And the AFC East doesn't suck anymore. The Bills are good now. And
the Bills have always been good. We just didn't show it in the win column.
And I mean, depending on what the Jets or Dolphins do in the draft, they could be average.
Suck.
They could be average teams.
Interesting.
At number 24, the New Orleans Saints select Jordan Love, quarterback from Utah State.
What? Come on.
Wait, time out. The Saints already have a backup QB.
First off, the Vikings pick is in 2nd. Why would they draft a quarterback?
They already have Taysom Hill.
They love Taysom Hill. Absolutely.
Like, they were ready to move forward with Taysom Hill if Breeze retired.
I'm not sold on that being the solution. I'm not sold on that being the solution.
No one cares what you're sold on.
Well, no, I am, because this is my thing. Okay, so this is the thing. So if I look at the rest of the picks that we need, or the rest of the things that we need, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with rocking this right here.
I'm fine with it. I don't like Taysom Hill either. My thing is this: so Jordan Love to me, it fits more of a Drew Brees sort of thing than Taysom Hill does. Taysom Hill is a gadget, all around / hybrid player. Saying that they were ready to move ahead with him makes me think that they were going to draft a quarterback no matter what. In this, because I feel like that when Drew Brees entered,
you think they were going to draft a 1st-round quarterback?
When Drew Brees entered free agency, I can almost guarantee that they were thinking, okay, cool, we're going to bring back Teddy, and we'll just get Teddy then. Teddy left to go to Carolina. At that point, they said, fuck, let's give Drew whatever he wants. Let's keep him here.
Real quick here, just seeing comments here. No, the Colombian, the Pats will not tank for Trevor Lawrence. It is not in Bill Belichick's blood. It will never happen.
The only way
Well,
they
not even that. Not even that. He can't tank because then everyone will say Tom Brady was the reason they were successful.
I was going to say the
100%.
only
he has to
way
make the playoffs this year.
The only way they tank is if they actually do lose.
Suck.
Yeah.
You have to say the same thing about Tom Brady too, though. If Tom Brady doesn't make the playoffs this year,
Oh, 100%.
it's a match.
It was all because of Bill
That's all they
Belichick.
needed. Yep.
Yeah.
No matter what,
Make the playoffs.
no matter what,
It's
the
because the other
separation of
happens.
this is going to be the greatest thing ever because either it's going to be they're the greatest thing and like each other are the greatest thing, or one of them is.
So what happens if they both make like the AFC, the championship of their conference, or they make like the divisional round and then lose?
Like that's
Were
the
they
thing.
just
Is like,
perfect? Were they just the perfect combination ever? Like they could only do so. They did exactly what they were supposed to do together. Like, I agree with you though. I think that this next year, as bad, I think the Patriots are going to be talent-wise bad. But Belichick's going to do so well coaching because he'll have nothing and he wants his reputation to be he's the reason why of the 20 years of success happened. That I think they're still going to find a way in the playoffs and still make a run at this thing. It's just going to be different the way they do it. I think it's going to be a lot more.
7 teams this year. Is it this year?
Yeah, 7 teams is this
right?
year.
Yeah.
7
It's
teams.
not,
they have
but the 17 games is
it's 2
next
years.
year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
But
That's my
7
thing.
teams is
That
this year.
helps both teams out either way. Especially, I think Tom Brady playing in a tough division. That's where he's never played in a division like that where he's got to worry about. Essentially, as much as I hate to say as a Bills fan, he essentially got bye weeks. For a lot of his divisional games. So he's getting 6 or five bye weeks.
Whenever they played one of the AFC East teams at home, it was a bye week.
Yeah.
If you played them on the road, different story. On the road was a different story, but at home, bye week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Never lost at home in the AFC East. But no, you're right. And now he's got to go against the Saints. Like, good luck,
Saints, Panthers, Falcons. It's a tough division in general. You can argue any of those teams could, But anyway, the pick is in for the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to come back around and we're going to switch sides of the ball, and we're going to draft edge rusher from Iowa, AJ Epinesa.
Ooh, good pick. You bastard. Good pick. That's where I was going with the Seahawks.
The Vikings need it. The Vikings need help on that defensive line, no matter
Everson
what.
Griffin, his replacement, right?
Also,
Exactly.
the Dolphins pick
That's
is
what I
in.
was just about to say. They needed a replacement for Everson, and for him to fall there and be there their second time around, I think this is a perfect draft for the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson, AJ Epinesa, and championship. No,
Not with Kirk Cousins, I'm sorry.
yeah, that's a problem. They should get Joe Burrows. I went, what?
Same. There's no difference. Same thing.
All right, Colin, you're up.
All right, with the 26th pick in the draft, the Miami Dolphins are going to select Xavier McKinney, safety from Alabama.
Okay.
This is the other place I think the Pats might go, but yes, good pick.
It was either that or running back, and to me, none of these backs are like late first round.
Shut your mouth, because I've got a team coming up that's going to be taking one. So you shut your mouth.
I mean, so obviously, if Xavier wasn't on the board, I probably would have went running back here, just to be 100% honest. But with him being on the board, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the name of that bum who left and then still didn't play well. But he got torched by the Ravens 3 times this year, so that was kind of fun. But yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know, some Fitz.
You're
I
not
don't
talking
know.
about Minka Fitzpatrick. Oh
Mid-
my, you are
yeah,
not.
something like that. He got burned 3 times by Baltimore this year, so it was kind of fun.
Oh my goodness.
Also,
Dude,
Sturg,
it's the
you were on
Dolphins.
the
They get burned by
board
everybody.
with Seattle.
Oh.
No, I think the Dolphins pick. The Dolphins are interesting because they have so many needs, but I agree with all the picks. Mainly, I think one of the big things that people got to remember too is that it's still a Belichick disciple. So Flores still has all those connections with like Nick Saban and all those SEC coaches. So I wouldn't be surprised too. Like I know we talked earlier and you picked Josh Jones at O tackle, but don't be surprised if they take an Alabama receiver as well.
Oh yeah,
Just because
100%.
they have those
I was
connections and they
I
have
was
those
think
ties.
I
Wouldn't
was
be
thinking
surprised
about
there.
it. I was thinking about it, but my thing was it was still that thing of like, cool. So now I have a quarterback. Now I
Well,
have a
didn't we say
receiver.
Eric Flowers is the best O lineman for the
Like,
Dolphins?
yeah, that's the thing. Is like at that
That's a
point I'm
problem.
sitting.
That's a
Yeah, I'm
problem.
sitting there like, okay, cool. I have the best. I have a good. I have a new good rookie quarterback. I have a great rookie receiver, and I have nobody blocking for him. Like, so other than that, like I would have probably taken a receiver there, but
Mhm.
yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. With the Seahawks here, the pick's not in yet. I'm gonna talk it out. I don't
Okay.
need anyone to give me an actual answer here, but the issue is the way our draft is going, because what the Seahawks need is they need D-line O-line help, and then their secondary
Especially if
need
they don't bring back what's his name there.
If they don't bring
Clowney
Clowney,
doesn't
yeah.
end up coming back.
Yeah. So like the edge rusher, I was gonna get Epineza if you didn't take him, just because I'm expecting Clowney to not come back.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of the issue there is, I mean, do they go interior D line? I think that's probably a safe pick at the end of the first round. I mean, do they go O line? There's really all the good ones, all the first rounders are taken, so you'd really be stretching. I mean, unless they want to go with Cesar, I just don't think, unless you're a dominant guard or a dominant center, you don't really go in the first round. I think Cesar Ruiz is more of a early day two guy. And then I would have taken McKinney if you didn't just take him. But I mean, other than that, Seahawks are a tough one. I mean, they've got a bunch of decent receiver. I mean, do they go another receiver? I mean, do they go Pittman or Ayuk from Arizona State and USC?
So let me do this. This is what the NFL.com mock drafts in front of me say. Josh Jones, Gross Matos, Austin Jackson, tackle from USC, Gross Matos, Josh Jones, Ross Blacklock, D tackle from TCU, and then Curtis Weaver, the edge rusher from Boise State.
I mean, I can see that. I'm leaning more toward the Austin Jackson pick just because I think at this point, a lineman, O-line, D-line is safe at the end of the first round. Like, you can't really go wrong, even if you never hear from them again. It's somebody that can at least play some type of alternate role for the rookie contract for that duration. So I think with the Seahawks, I'm trying to think where they need more. I think I'm gonna go D-line. I think I'm gonna go the Blaylock or Blackhawk from TCU, the defensive tackle. I don't know.
Ross,
Is it Blaylock or Blackhawk? Which one?
Blackhawk down.
Ross Blacklock, D tackle TCU.
Oh, it's Blacklock. Sorry, my bad.
You said it wrong every single time, and I love it.
Yeah, honestly, I probably would have picked him or Raekwon Davis. I won't be surprised if someone reaches for Raekwon Davis at some point. Now, the big part that was keeping me, like, I really am curious if Pete Carroll is gonna reach for that USC wide receiver if he falls there. I don't know how tight his ties are to USC still, but I really wonder if he'll reach for a USC receiver just because of that relationship. So, anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Ross Blacklock. Let's go with him.
And to Cumbly, and I just have a quick question for you. What do you mean? What's the difference for the draft look? Like, if there's no 2020 season, either way, I mean, these players are getting drafted. I mean, you got to shift your.
Yeah, the big question would just be their contract. It's do they get paid? That's
I would
assume
it would be because I'm assuming that he's saying like what would happen. So like let's say this draft goes fully through and then there is no season this next year. Would there be a NFL draft the 2020? Like that sort of
2021? Oh,
Yeah.
there definitely would be a draft. It's the same players. I mean,
It'd be the same players.
2 years. Once you're 2 years out,
Now,
you can be eligible for the draft. Send it.
The question now, the big issue that would be though is, would players? Now this is a big if. Now I'm assuming players like Trevor Lawrence would just come out, but at the same time, there are players because what the NCAA at least did for this spring is they extended any player that wanted it, they could come back with they'd be eligible. None of those issues would happen. So if they did that again for next year, let's say, if there wasn't a season, that's where you run into the issue. Like, does Trevor Lawrence even come out, or does he redo his? He was a true freshman, wasn't he? Or was he a redshirt freshman? He was a true freshman. So does he redo his true junior year, or does he come out because he's technically been in school for 3 years? Because that's the rule. The rule is only you have to be in school for 3 years. It's not you have to play 3 years. You got to be enrolled.
Honestly, it's not even that you have to be in school. It's just you have to be out of high school.
That's true. You have to be out of because you could technically go to another league. Like I know the Pats drafted. Who was that one dude from the CFL? He never ended up panning out because he got hurt all the time. But a guy went straight to the CFL out of high school, and he played 3 years there. And he tore up the CFL, but he sucked in the NFL. Couldn't stay healthy. But that's the interesting part is, would a big name like Trevor Lawrence even come out, not having played a third season? I mean, I don't know.
I think he would. I mean, what's he got to lose? I mean, he's only by going back, he's risking injury. He's going to, I mean.
But at the same time, he already planned on coming back anyway. I know he didn't have a choice, but he already planned on coming back, and then he didn't play.
I don't.
So
that's a big concern.
That would be the only issue.
I understand what you're saying.
That would be the only real question mark is how many players would sit there and go, I was a no-name as a sophomore. I need to come back another year to prove who I am. Whereas they would have already come out and been drafted. So I bet you that draft class will just be a lot smaller. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's a draft where a lot of teams either trade out of or they trade really high up to get the no-name, like Trevor, get the true no-brainer talents, because you won't have much film on those 6th and 7th round picks. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's a draft where just teams only take 4 or 5 guys because they're just like, I've got no idea who the dude from Tulsa is who only played 1 season. Like I've got no idea if he's actually any good.
Yeah, I feel like if it happened as well, you'd see a lot more of the older players as well, like the juniors, the seniors. Those guys getting looked at because they've been longer there. There's more film. There's more knowledge of them.
There's actually stuff there. Yeah, you know what your risk is.
So if
you're gonna get fired.
I'm going to kind of do what you did just barely with the Seahawks of Baltimore, because now this is interesting for me, because obviously the one I was looking at was Kenneth Murray. There's a lot of things out there right now saying that they're going to take Kenneth Murray. I think it's a great fit. So I got 2 names right now, and I'm struggling between them. I'm going to try and figure it out as I talk my way through it. The first one is Cesar Ruiz.
Pick is in for the Titans.
Also, thanks, Jeff.
So
the first one's Cesar Ruiz, offensive lineman from Michigan. The second one is Lavish Shenault Jr., wide receiver from Colorado.
You're forgetting one, man.
No, I'm not.
You're also forgetting that you have a running back at quarterback, so what do you need a receiver for?
So, Lavish...
That's rude. No, you're forgetting one.
Who?
Dude, Zach Bond from Wisconsin still has not been taken.
100%.
Oh, of course, but that's
and some people say he's the second best linebacker.
So I agree, but from what I've seen, these are 2 so Ruiz is the first one because we need to replace Yonda.
That's the only reason why I would take him.
Only
reason I'd take him.
Unless
that's my answer is
that's the thing is
Ruiz just strictly because you need to replace.
Unless I start looking down the line.
Replace a starter.
The reason why I like Shenault, and I was trying to find the name of the guy and I couldn't fucking find it. The reason why I was looking at Shenault was because it adds into the effect of us being able to do a lot more offensively with tricks, with alterations, with a receiver that big that can also line up in the backfield, motion, do this, do that. It's like it adds a lot more trickery to what we already do.
Let me ask you a serious question. Because you guys have you guys just picked up. You guys have John Brown, right? He's not a.
No,
he's not a Bill anymore.
He's Marquise.
Yeah, we have Hollywood Brown.
Marquise Brown. Yeah.
Hollywood.
So honestly,
Hollywood
what's true? Sorry, Marquise Brown. I'm sorry. What's the difference between Marquise Brown and the dude from? You're talking about the dude from Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the difference?
So Hollywood Brown didn't play a whole lot last year. He was on a timer because of his foot injury, and also his
But
whole thing was
I'm saying talent-wise.
So talent-wise, Hollywood Brown is a burner. That's all it is.
This dude's not.
No, this dude is he can move around and do a lot of different things. He's like a
It sounds like your It sounds like your quarterback.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's my point. So why get another?
Because
why not?
How many? Well, that's the thing. So that's what I'm getting at. I'm trying to work my way through it right now. But my thing is there's also things saying about getting a running back. If this dude's 6'1", 227 pounds, this dude could line up a running back. This guy could line up a wide receiver. We could put him in as almost a secondary wildcat where Lamar plays tailback or some bullshit. Like, there's a lot of different things within the Greg Roman offense that this guy can do that would just confuse defenses and make them have to, okay, we have to look at this because it's a possibility. That's like the whole thing with it.
I know what you're saying, but is that what you're willing to? Especially on the board I'm looking at. There's 4 receivers ahead of him.
Oh, of course,
so but my thing, you can't get this guy in the second round.
Well, that's the thing. Is like
you definitely get him in the second round.
I think yes, and I think no.
Let me ask you honestly. I have no idea. Ravens, do they have any higher picks, or is it always just where they're slated in each round? Do they have a higher second round pick at all, or?
Hold on a sec.
Because if they have anything higher, then
we have 55.
So you could definitely get him at 55. Why not right now take?
Well, that's the thing. So there are some other things. There are some other things like apparently Green Bay is looking at Chenault, and there's a few other ones. But Green
Bay is not looking at Chenault.
Well, of course. I mean, yes, of course, that's you. So no, I'm gonna go Cesar Ruiz. And the reason why.
That's what I would do. Yeah, I think.
There's a reason. There's hold up a sec. Fucking. So the reason is, and I can't find the fucking guy's name, and I feel like an asshole for not finding it. There's a receiver later on that played for one of the smaller teams in, I don't remember what fucking division. It's like the middle of the fucking U.S. And he kind of did a multifaceted role too that apparently Greg Roman is like fucking salivating about. So that's literally the only reason why I'm going with Cesar Ruiz is because if there's a guy like that in the third or fourth.
Real quick, are you talking about the guy? You're not talking about the guy from Liberty, are you?
No, this is one of the bigger schools. I just can't fucking remember his name. Well, not bigger schools, but you know what I mean by that.
Not a D1 school though.
No, it's a D1.
It is a D1.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it now because I got the. Yeah, it's not Liberty. God damn! I wish I fucking remembered the guy's name.
It's not. Is it Lynn Bowden from Kentucky?
That's it.
He's really a running back.
Yep.
But he played wide receiver, and he also did all their Wildcat stuff.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
that's the guy that I read. I just read a whole thing about that. They were like, yeah, like apparently Greg Roman is salivating at getting this guy.
You got someone that said, "What about the TCU receiver, Reagan or Rhaegar?" I mean, are you really? Let me ask this guy,
Luok.
Are you actually impressed with him? Like, in all honesty?
No.
What's so special about him? Why is he a first round talent? That's the question. I mean, you think the 5'11", 200-pounder is this all-world talent who runs a normal 40-yard dash for a receiver? Like, he's not a first-round talent. That's the only issue. And all we're doing is the first round. When it comes to, if we started looking at second, third-round picks, I think he's a no-brainer. He's definitely someone who should be on, whoever needs a receiver, he should be on their radar.
Oh, he's probably
late second, early third round. But when we're talking about first-round picks, we're taking, these should be almost no-brainers. Like, when you're looking at a 5'11" guy who's a slow
the 29th
receiver,
pick by the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, shut up!
Not a no-brainer.
Who are you taking?
What?
You would have taken Jordan Love if he was available, correct?
100%.
Okay. Yep.
100%.
That's why he was so mad earlier.
Ryan Tannehill is not the answer, ladies and gentlemen. Signed to a one-year contract. Let him go. So what are we going to do here? We're still going to draft a quarterback.
That was so stupid.
It's so stupid.
What?
That was so stupid. Why did they pay him so much money?
I don't know. But anyway,
Ugh.
he is not the answers, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? You get to come with the first round pick. You get that nice 5th-year option, so you can sit a guy behind Ryan Tannehill and let him learn. And that guy,
Let him learn how to suck.
what'd you say? Learn how to suck?
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill's actually not bad at reading defenses, in my opinion. I mean, he's got that down. He just doesn't have the physical skill set. But this guy does. And guess what? He is a winner. He won at Alabama. He won at Oklahoma.
Ooh.
Jalen Hurts. Send it.
So you want another Marcus Mariota 2.0 for the Titans? They're gonna try it again. They're gonna give it another
They're going
shot.
to try it again. And guess what?
See
This
how
time
it
they're going to
goes.
hit it. This time they're going to hit it, Rob.
Oh, so
okay?
Sturg, you were on the clock with the Packers, by the way.
My pick's in whenever we're ready to go.
You can go ahead.
I like
No,
it. I like
so-
it though. I mean, with
You know
what else
what?
is on the board right now, like, yeah, fuck it, send it. Why not?
So you know what I truly think with the Titans? This is gonna be crazy. I really think if they're gonna pick, obviously we're taking trades out. It's gotta be. I think they're gonna pick a running back because they can't pay Derrick. They can't pay him.
Come on.
They can't
They're gonna
pay him. They can't.
They have
You,
to.
you just paid Tannehill $30 million a year. You cannot
Mhm.
pay Derrick Henry the money he deserves.
Well,
I
I was
think
gonna
they're
say.
gonna go with I think
would-
they're gonna go with someone for like the Wisconsin running back.
Well, I was about to say, like, I kind of like that just for the fact of the two-headed backs, which
Well,
of course
I think
would
that's
be.
the case you do this year. This year is you pound Derrick Henry, knowing you're not going to re-sign him, and you use
Taylor,
God, what's his first name?
Jonathan.
Zach, James, Jonathan. Okay, Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
Yeah, you use Jonathan Taylor as that third. Not necessarily a third down back, but you use him to spare Derrick Henry, and you just sit there and you abuse. This sounds terrible, but abuse Derrick Henry, knowing I'm not signing you again, dude. You're not ever getting another contract.
Well, the problem
And-
is who you just picked was already abused in college, so that's the other.
That's
issue
true.
gotta
You know,
worry
you're
about.
not wrong. Maybe you go with the LSU guy.
I
Out
would
of-
go
Like,
with
having the three
Dobbins
names.
before him.
Oh,
Dobbins is still on the board.
Yep.
Which brings me to the Green Bay Packers pick.
Dude, there's no reason they should be drafting running back. Don't even say it.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't
Now the
actually
Chiefs,
gonna
on the other
draft
hand, I can get down with that, Rob.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I actually wasn't about to pick a running back. I was actually going to pick a hometown fan, very big Wisconsin native. Hold on, I'm looking up his actual name, but it's the linebacker I just said from Wisconsin, Zach Bond.
Oh.
Very good fit for the Green Bay Packers. Fits a need. They have no depth at linebacker. They have a decent starting group. I know who is the guy that came out of nowhere this year for the Packers. I'm really blanking on his name. Anyway,
Came out
linebacker
of nowhere.
I mean, I guess not nowhere. They signed him, and I told you guys, I'm like, that's the stupidest signing ever. But anyway, they need linebacker depth. You get a homeboy that all these Green Bay Packer fanatics know of because they probably all love Wisconsin football like idiots. And I think Zach Bond is someone who, if he falls that deep to them, it's a no-brainer for them. Absolutely zero risk whatsoever. And the big thing is, I would have gone offensive line for them if everybody wasn't taken. Like, everyone's taken, so what's the point? At this point, wait till the second round. See
So
what's there.
They need
linebackers
offensive
they have
line, I
are
agree.
Curtis Bolton, Oren Burks, Rashawn Gary, Christian Kirksey, Randy Ramsey, Greg Roberts, Preston Smith, Zardarius Smith, Ty Summers, Tim Williams. That's their linebacking core for the Packers.
Yeah, so they need a linebacker.
Yeah,
back.
they need inside. Their outside backers in Smith and Gary. That's a good two guys.
No, it is good, and I mean the system they run is solid. But I think
Well, it's kind of crazy because you think about back when they had AJ Hawk, Clay Matthews. They had linebackers and they had just those big name guys. Now it's they have.
hold on. Maybe I think the Packers guy must have been he must be a free agent.
You're talking about Blake Martinez? Is that who you're talking about?
Ooh,
Yes!
that may have been it.
Yes, he came out of nowhere this year. Where the hell did he go?
I don't know.
Blake
He's not on there.
Martinez is a stud.
Yeah, but where'd he go?
I want to
Who's that
say he went to Raiders.
Okay, well, he was the one. He came out of absolutely nowhere.
And I'm wrong. He's a giant.
Okay,
Yes.
well,
Okay. Yep.
okay, yeah, that actually sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think Zach Bond just becomes his immediate replacement. You
Makes
fill
sense.
him right in at middle linebacker. I mean, easy fill. I agree. I if they can make Blake Martinez look good, I mean, this is a no-brainer. I can make a guy who played 5 years at Wisconsin, who literally every Green Bay Packer fan probably knows his name because they've been watching him for a million years. Because if I had a bet, he's probably a Wisconsin native. Yep, he's from
Probably.
Brown
That's
Deer,
most of those guys
Wisconsin.
are.
Yeah, so I mean, like, this dude's literally been born and bred in Wisconsin. Why not pick him?
It's one of those
no-brainer.
things where, like, if it doesn't happen, I'm actually going to be upset now. Now that you
This is
just
a
said all
no-brainer.
this,
Get
like,
the Wisconsin linebacker from Wisconsin. Like, this is an absolute no-brainer.
all right, Jeff, Niners.
All right, the Niners.
With
are
that
going
said,
to
by the way, the Packers could also take the TCU wide receiver, but that's neither here nor there. Go on.
the Niners.
Wait,
select.
Jeff. I'm sorry to interrupt again. Can you explain to Lochak why Burrow went to Denver when they have Drew
Oh
Lock?
my goodness! First off,
I
like
can't
Drew
explain
Lock.
it anymore.
I think I shouldn't say I like him. I think that they're sold on Drew Lock there, so I don't have a problem with him not going there. But Rob absolutely loves Joe Burrow, thinks he's the next greatest thing, and I don't know why he's just trying to figure out why he fell that low. Is really what it comes down to.
Joe Burrows is a bust.
Did I hit that?
He's a bust. He is the next Ryan Leaf. Get ready, put it down. He is the next Ryan Leaf.
So
minus
we might
the
as well
drug
put
problem.
him. We might as well put him on the Broncos because John Elway is horrible at evaluating
Well, yeah, I mean,
QB talent.
Yeah, I mean
Horrible.
they think Drew Lock's good, so that's a problem. And then they drafted that Memphis guy. That was a real good pick.
I mean, like, really, out of the last few quarterbacks they've had, Tebow's kind of in the top, like, 1-2.
Tebow's the best.
Yeah, like, I mean,
quarterback
like,
they've had in the last 20. Can we be honest? In the last,
I was gonna say, other than, like, are you gonna say other than Manning?
besides Jay Cutler, that's the best QB the Broncos have had.
Manning?
Who the hell? Shut up. At that point, Peyton Manning handed the ball off. What are we talking about here? Oh, the year that he
That's
threw 50
true.
touchdowns when they had the best offense in the world because every single player was an all-pro player? Like, what are we talking about here? I could have thrown for 50 touchdowns in that offense. That was unreal. That team was unbelievable.
Oh man.
Sure,
But
okay.
anyway.
So, besides Peyton Manning,
Yeah, no, I
the
mean,
next
like,
best quarterback in
well,
the
like,
last 20 years
that's
for
the thing, is, like,
Broncos.
I'm picking Tebow because he took him to the playoffs and beat the fucking Steelers in Pittsburgh, right?
Somehow. I don't know how the fuck he did. No, it was
Still
in
don't know how
Denver.
that happened.
But I have no idea how they did that.
I don't know either, but I mean, it's like, you
And
know,
Josh McDaniels was their head coach. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Like, that is an absolute joke. The dude's barely an offensive coordinator. Can we explain how he was a head coach?
Yes. So can we just talk about the 49ers here because
Yep.
they're on the clock and they've been waiting patiently.
Yeah, go ahead. Pick whoever the fuck you're going to pick, Jeff. Okay?
The 49ers select safety.
ooh.
Minnesota.
Oh!
Antoine Winfield Jr.
Wow, that's a humongous reach. Okay.
Yeah, I
A
was...
reach. He is the best safety in the draft.
No, I
Best
100%
safety.
agree with you, but it's a reach because they are saying that Grant Delpit is going to get picked before him, the dude from LSU.
Mhm, that's
They're
what I
saying
thought
he's
he was
gonna
going to...
get. They said McKinney and Delpit are the two that are going to get picked first. But I 100% agree with you that Antoine Winfield Jr. is the best corner.
Facts.
He just doesn't
Safety.
have the measurables. He doesn't have the measurables. 5'9's an issue in the NFL. But I agree.
Yes.
That's why I think Antoine Winfield's going to be a fantastic New England Patriot in the 4th round when they decide to choose him. Anyway, unless the Bills steal him earlier because of, everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so the Chiefs,
Love it.
the final pick of the draft, the Chiefs are on the board.
The Chefs. The Chefs are on the clock. The world champion Chefs. Hold on one second. Let me do. I'm actually going to be on the clock for a little bit. They got a lot of
Ooh.
issues. They have a lot of issues from being so fucking good.
All right, I'm going to put the timer on them because this is the last time I can.
I feel like
There should
every
be.
team I looked at, their top needs was cornerback. It's like, oh well, there aren't any good ones. So how are we doing that? They might,
Oh
they
my
might be the
goodness.
team
I
though.
just I
They
lo-
might be the team. I don't know.
I just have to say I love the way that our draft played out because it just is pure the three of us.
I mean, it'd be weird if it wasn't.
Well, as like I said to you before the whole thing started, I was intrigued to see who Jeff picked. If he was going to go with what everyone's going to say is going to happen with Joe Burrows, or if he's going to go with the one that all three of us know should happen with Chase Young.
Chase Young should definitely be number one. Jeff Hill made this draft.
I mean, you really did. You're the reason why this draft looks the way it is. Like, let it be known, everyone out there, the reason why this looks the way it does. No, I mean, me also picking Herbert at 5 also kind of changed it a little bit, quarterback wise. You know,
The Chiefs pick is in.
Ooh,
J.K. Dobbins, Ohio State. Only right answer.
No, actually, this is actually somewhat of a surprise, but this is a team that can afford a surprise.
okay.
Let me make sure no one picked them. I think we're good, but if I pick someone that already got picked, just laugh
Yeah, I'll
at
let
me.
you.
With the 32nd pick in the NFL draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Julian Aquara,
Ooh.
edge rusher from Notre Dame.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Very big,
There we
very
go.
big, low risk, high reward player. Finished his season. He ended up breaking his fibula, so that's a big. I mean, he started 9 games this past season. Then he broke his fibula against Duke. But in the 9 games, okay, as an edge rusher, had 4 sacks, 6 TFLs, 2 forced fumbles, a blocked kick, and 2 interceptions.
Jesus.
Like, that's pretty good. The year before, had
pretty
12 and a half TFLs, 8 sacks. He had, the guy got better and better, and he's also the brother of the defensive lineman that from the Lions, from Nigeria, the Roman Aquara, Romeo. Sorry, not Roman.
Thank you, Jeff, for the resub.
But how do you do that? What do I have to do?
What do you mean? What do you have to do?
How do I subscribe
I don't know.
for
It
2
just
months?
popped up, dude, and said. That
Well, Jeff also did it till January. So every month when his thing ends, it would just resub for him. So
Yeah.
so
Fancy,
tonight
okay.
apparently it just resubbed for him though in the middle of the draft. So that's kind of
Tonight
cool.
was the night.
Hey, Jeff, shout out. But yeah, no, I think it makes sense here. The Chiefs take end of the first round, take a very high. This is very similar to the Cowboys pick of the linebacker. I'm blanking on his first name, but Smith.
Jalen.
From Notre Dame, Jalen. I was gonna say Julian. I know I was wrong, but that's Julian Aquara. That's why. Anyway,
Well, I mean, the other thing is you look at the Chiefs. What they need line and they need running back. Line right now is gone.
It's just
Running back you can wait for.
It really depends on how the draft shakes up. Obviously, in our mock draft, this makes sense. This is an easy pick. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs. I keep saying this. I won't be surprised at all if they trade out, because I mean, at this point, if it's gone the way it's gone, I mean, it's either take a low risk, high reward player, or get the hell out of the first round. There's no point in taking this pick. Go get another third. Go get another fourth. Go get a couple more picks later on. Let someone stupid like the Dolphins or the Raiders trade in, give you a bunch of picks, and then take some stupid third string wide receiver. But we'll figure that out later. But I wouldn't be surprised. Andy Reid is a big. If you actually look at his past drafts, I wouldn't be surprised if they took a receiver or a running back. That's normally where they go. I think last year they took a running back. Is that right? Not in the first. They took a receiver in the first round, and they took a running back in the second, or they traded out something like that. But they have a history. Andy Reid's a big offensive guy, obviously, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went offense. But I think this is a no-brainer if this is the way the board goes.
Last year they took Mecole Hardman in the second, and then they put
Okay.
Darwin Thompson in the 6th.
Okay. Yeah. So did they trade out of the first, or did they not have a
I'm
third?
assuming they traded out because this is pick 56. So either they traded out or they just didn't have one.
No, I think they traded out with the Packers or Saints, if I remember correctly.
They wouldn't have had one last year, would they have? Because wasn't that the year that they traded for Patrick Mahomes' pick?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be?
makes
Because
sense.
that was his second year last year, or was it his third?
Yeah, second year last year.
Okay,
No, last year was his third year because he sat a full year, then started and lost to the Patriots, then won the Super Bowl his third year. So last year was his third year.
Okay, so it wasn't that then.
Because he did sit out an entire year behind
Yeah, I forgot it was a
Alex
whole year.
Smith.
You're right.
That was when they blew that 20-point lead to the Titans.
Okay, so
yeah, so I mean,
so obviously, like that's it. That was the last pick of the first round. The first round is over now. So here's my thing. So each one of you guys, we'll each go with each one of us. What was your surprise pick?
For us personally, or
so
for
like
the entire draft?
For the entire draft. So like Sturg, which one do you think was the surprise pick for you? Then Jeff, then me, like that sort of thing.
Oh, okay. So
just to kind of wrap it up.
Greenwood, were you?
I was the pink. I was the pink. You were the.
So obviously, my surprise for you was the Dolphins with Justin Herbert, just simply because everything I've read, I haven't been following this weekend as much. I know we're getting closer to the draft. Everything I've read has really been all over Tua or trade up if the Bengals decide to pull a curveball and draft Chase Young. So everything I've read has always been about Tua. I don't know if you've read something new about it, but that was my surprise for you. And then I mean, you had a couple other surprises as far as just guys, offensive linemen that I think are taken probably a little too early. But those are spots where I think people would trade back in that situation, not necessarily because of the pick. Jeff, you were red. I think my biggest surprise for you, and it's not so much. It's obvious. I mean, we'll get besides Jalen Hurts because he's a third. I think he's going to go in the third or fourth round. I mean, I think as soon as Love gets picked, you're not going to hear another quarterback for about 3 or 4 rounds. Now, I do think there is a chance that Jordan Love does fall to the second round. I think it would be early second round. I wouldn't be surprised if like the Lions, Giants, somebody like that picked him up in the early second round, but I think that's a spot where he'll fall. And I do think the Patriots, if Love falls that far, there is a chance. It's very small, but there's a chance that they jump at him as well. So if we get rid of the Jalen Hurts pick, I think Jeff's biggest surprise was honestly probably the Chasen pick by the Falcons, and not because of the position, because of the person. I don't think he's the best one on the board. That's the only reason. I'm surprised that it's not Yetur Gross-Matos from Penn State, especially because of what they value. I think Matos ran a faster 40 time than Chasen did. I could be wrong, but I believe he ran a faster 40 time, and I know the Falcons, all that he talks about is speed, 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 speed. Everything's about speed. So I'd be surprised if they went with Chasen there. That's it. Honestly, every other pick kind of makes sense. I guess the Cowboys pick, Trayvon Diggs, is a little risky, but that's more just because I think it's a little too early there. But I think it makes sense. The way the board fell, and then am I picking the surprise pick of the whole thing?
Sure. I'm just kind of like just kind of a wrap up thing.
The Redskins, with Tristan Wirfs is probably one of the bigger surprises of the whole thing, strictly because if Joe Burrows doesn't go first, I really do think the Redskins have said numerous times, from the owners to the coaches, they've made it pretty clear that Dwayne Haskins, they really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If Joe Burrows is available, they're gonna take Joe Burrows. they're not going to all of a sudden switch directions and somewhere else. They're going to go and take Joe Burrows. With that said, I don't know if it's because of Burrows or if it's just because they need another quarterback. But the owners made it pretty clear that Dwayne Haskins is not the QB of the future. And if we all know the Redskins, if the owner feels that way, then that's the way the team goes. So
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
yeah. So I mean that's really. I think it'd be smart for them to get Tristan Wirfs, but I don't think that's even possible for that team. So,
I'm just gonna take that as you. I'm gonna take that as you calling me smart. So thank you.
That's fine. But then you go to
Alright,
the pick number 5, and that's where you get dumb. So it's fine.
For Colin, I mean for Colin, I'm gonna start with Rob. For Rob, I think it is Joe Burrow going to the Broncos.
That makes
Joe
sense.
Burrow
Is it
falls
because
that
it's
fall?
just the Broncos, or is it because
I just think they're too in love with Drew Lock. Honestly, I mean that's
the
that's
value?
my
I have
issue
I
with
have other
getting
things to say
the
other than that one,
potential
but
first-round pick for the 15th? You don't think that value's there?
no.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that, but I mean, if you like the
Fair
guy
enough.
you have, why wouldn't you go elsewhere with it? I mean, I think they really
'Cause
need a
it's
receiver.
John Elway.
I mean, if you can have
I
Henry
see-
Ruggs, you can have Justin Jefferson. I mean, you got a lot of receiver.
Well, I
talent
was gonna
left
I'm gonna piggyback off that and also say they need corner, they need safety, they need D line, they need offensive tackle. All of those are big needs around a guy that they've kind of said like, hey, we kind of like this kid.
Yeah, but they're stupid. Again, it was what would we do for our team?
Oh, I know that.
Because if we're going off that, then Jeff's an idiot for drafting Chase Young. Because they've said all that it is Joe Burrows. It's no one else. Again, what would I do? I don't believe in Drew Lock. Tell me honestly, you two believe in Drew Lock?
I'm in the same. I will say
You
I
think
am
he's
in.
better than Kirk Cousins? Do you think Drew Lock
No,
is better
so
than Kirk Cousins?
what I'm going to
So
say.
Joe Burrows should be the QB.
What I'm going to say is I feel the same about him as I do with Mustache Man. Is that I don't know enough yet. So why not boost up some other areas
So
of
they
my
both
team?
suck.
Yeah, basically. But why don't I just boost up some other parts of my team instead of wasting a pick on getting a quarterback right now that I obviously don't believe in?
I mean, it's fair, but
I think the biggest surprise for me, and it's also Colin's picks, we're going to go with it, is Jordan Love of the Saints. I still cannot believe that, and same reason.
oh god, yeah, that's true. Can I change my pick?
I just
That's
don't
so
believe
true.
that they're going to be going with him. Taysom
Can we
Hill
all
is...
agree that that's more ridiculous than mine?
No, I'm going to keep them both.
Because that's not only do they believe in their starter, but they also believe in their backup. And you want them to pick another quarterback?
That's funny.
Yeah. All right, sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I mean, I'm just Taysom Hill is a backup. I mean, obviously they need to eventually replace Drew Brees. I don't think Taysom Hill is the answer, but I think they're at least making out to believe that Taysom Hill is the answer. So, that's all I got for this draft. I mean, overall, I thought it was eventful, fun.
What do you think the biggest surprise is of the whole draft? But forget who did what pick. Like, whether somebody dropped far enough, or what do you think the biggest surprise of the whole thing was?
Mine was Burrows going as far as he did. I thought one of us was. I mean, it probably would have been me looking back now at the teams, but I thought one of us were going to pull the trigger a little bit earlier than 15. Just because I feel like the overarching, he's the number one pick versus what this team needs.
You say that though, but after, in all honesty,
well, I guess
after the Dolphins, name a team that really needs a quarterback.
Chargers, Jags, Browns,
the Chargers
Jets,
have Tyrod Taylor,
Raiders,
solid.
Buccaneers.
The Chargers got their quarterback though too.
The Jaguars got the ninth overall pick, but that was with only 1 year of their QB starting.
Juma, we didn't do trades. Trades are when we're only doing a first round. Like, there's no real reason to do trades, honestly, because then you can.
We wanted trades so bad. We wanted them so
Shut
bad.
up.
Me and Jeff would
tried trading
every
the
pick.
Bengals pick multiple times.
So wait, Greenwood, you got to tell us who your surprises were.
Chase Young, number one, that was my surprise. I thought Jeff was going to do it, but at the same time, I wasn't sure.
Jeff, so you know, before this whole thing started, Greenwood literally asked me, he goes, is Jeff going to go Joe Burrows or Chase Young? Because if he goes Chase Young, I'm going to need the whole time because I have no idea who to pick for the Redskins.
Literally, everything that the Redskins, everything that I've seen online that the Redskins says is literally just like as soon as as soon as like they're on the clock, like basically, what's the name of that new coach?
Who?
The new coach. in
Redskins?
Washington. Yeah.
Rivera?
Yeah, they said basically Rivera will like run the pick up to the stadium if he has to put in Chase Young. Like it was like that, like it's that done of a deal sort of thing.
Well, he can't because we need social distancing. But yeah, I get
Well, then
it.
he can text it to him. Like,
the gesture, but yes.
other than that, though, Kenneth Murray, kind of surprised that one with the Eagles, a little bit. The Joe
Now, real
Burrow
quick,
one.
are you surprised at how early it is, or are you surprised that? What are you surprised about?
I was surprised that you
Where
went
it
Kenneth
was
Murray.
Or how early?
I'm surprised you went Kenneth Murray. I'll be
Who do you
like,
think I should have gone?
I thought you were going to go Patrick Queen because you like Patrick Queen more.
I was also surprised Rob went Patrick Queen instead of Jordan Love.
That one too.
That was
the
another
Patriots?
one
When you were
Yeah.
gone,
So,
me and
let
Jeff
me be
talked
honest
about
with
that.
you. So, in all honesty, the reason why I did that is this morning, actually all morning while I was on my way to Home Depot, they were doing like a Pat's draft like radio show, and they brought an expert in, some Pats reporter, and he said that the Patriots are not really looking. They're going to draft a Q. It sounded like they're going to draft a QB. It's just it's not going to be at 23. If they draft a QB, it's either they move way up there and they go get a QB, or they're going to draft one in the third, fourth, fifth round, like Jalen Hurts or the kid from Princeton. And they kept saying the two names that they're really highly in love with is Kenneth Murray and Patrick Queen, and then the off-put would be Xavier McKinney from Alabama. They're really into those three defensive players. So the fact that I already picked Kenneth Murray for the Eagles just because he's a better fit for them and their scheme, I went with Patrick Queen for the Patriots just because I also like him better, and I like the Pats, so
Fair enough.
it made sense.
Okay,
It
fair
made
enough,
sense
makes
for
sense,
me.
yeah.
But,
No, Jordan Love, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Love was picked by them if they were available. I just really don't feel like they're going to waste a first-round pick on a quarterback. I say that, but they also drafted a running back like 2 years ago, so I
Do
don't
you
know.
think they're going to try to get a steal at quarterback like they did, 19 years ago?
I think they're going to try and do what they did with Garoppolo. I think the Princeton kid is a big. I really think the Princeton kid is going to be on their radar. The only issue with him is that he's a lefty. And I know they love Jake Fromm. They love Jake Fromm. They love Jalen Hurts. But don't be surprised if they go for that Princeton kid, or if they go for. I mean, the Michigan kid, Shea Patterson. What's the difference between Shea Patterson and Stidham? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely
they're
nothing,
the
I
same
agree.
exact person, but I know from everything I've heard, they love Jalen Hurts and they love Jake Fromm as third, fourth round quarterbacks that could easily be backups for a couple of years and then be contributors. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go that way too.
All right. Well,
Who do you think the Bills are going to draft with the first pick? Not the first round, like
But their first pick.
Where are they gonna go, Jeff?
It really depends. I really feel like if Dobbins is available, or Taylor, with their
Think
first
they're
pick
gonna
in
go
the second
running
round,
back first?
I think they will. Yeah. It's either that or you go cornerback, which depending on who's available again. I mean, it's really going to depend on. I think the Bills are going to be strictly best player available this draft.
If they get Dobbins, that's a freaking steal. Dobbins is a stud.
That's what I'm hoping. I mean, I'm hoping he falls.
Dobbins is going to be Dalvin Cook reincarnated.
I was wondering if you were going to take Dobbins with the Chiefs for a moment.
I was hoping he would.
Honestly, I
like
would
the play there.
I would have. It makes sense, but then
Well,
I
the
sat
way-
there and went, "Why the hell would they get Dobbins? They don't run the fucking ball. Why do they care? They don't care about running backs." They played one running back the entire. Trust me, I bet money on the backup running back getting 5 yards. He needed to get 5 yards. If he got over 5 yards, I won $100. I lost the bet. He got 0 yards. He had one carry for 0 yards in the Super Bowl. Like they don't play anybody else. They play that one guy. I don't even remember his name. They play him, and that's it. They don't play anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they need? And all he does is either pass protect or run swing routes. Like, why the hell else would they? Why do they need a running back? Why do they need a running back like Taylor or JT Dobbins? Like, those are real running backs. They don't need those players. They need someone in the 5th round from freaking Southern Methodist who all he ever does is run wheel routes and shit like that, or jet sweeps. Like, that's the type of
Hunt type guys. What they need.
Yeah, exactly. No, but in all seriousness, that's really what they're looking for, is someone that all they do is run wheels and pass routes and shit like that, and that's what they want. They don't want a real running back.
True.
Which I think Dobbins and Taylor, they're real running backs, I think. Excuse me. I think don't be surprised if the Jaguars or any of those teams with a lot of picks, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins take a running back with their 3rd pick in the 1st round if Dobbins is available. I know they have a lot more needs, but why not? What's the worst that happens? They don't have who's their running back?
Who?
Because they got rid of the Dolphins.
Jordan
they got
Howard,
rid of what?
Yeah, Jordan Howard.
Oh, did they just sign Jordan Howard? So
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
so
not
I guess
really
probably
their,
not, but
their answer though either. He's also, I've been seeing him tied to the Fournette trade talks.
Mm-hmm.
So
now that would make sense. That would be like a perfect fit for the 49ers. He's another version of Burrito. They're the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They get hurt a lot and they're really good at running wide zone. Great. Like,
Great.
Awesome. Fantastic.
All right, well, with the end of this draft and the end of the commentary, that is it for the mock draft. We will be, or I will be here. I will probably try and get these guys on at some point during the draft just to talk stuff. We will be doing the draft on stream. We'll be just like this. I'll be talking about picks and everything like that. I'll have the guys on at different points, just if they're available, and also just have them run their mouths because it's fun. Do you guys have anything left to say?
No,
I appreciate you
enjoy
coming
the draft.
out for this craziness.
Yeah, this
Chase Young.
But are we saving this picture so we can see if we got anything right?
This is going up on YouTube tomorrow.
I'm very interested to
Telling me
see.
there's a chance.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see out of the 32 picks how many are actually correct.
True.
Who got the most?
Or
Well,
just
I've already screwed myself with Chase Young.
But
so.
but I also sit there and go, how many? Not just so much how much are correct by what team they go to.
Well,
how many of them actually get drafted in the 1st round, or they get drafted at that number?
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like because in all honesty, if once we got to the Broncos, it was kind of a crapshoot. Like.
Oh yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably do a mock, like my own personal mock draft on the side somewhere. Just kind of like, okay, this is what I actually think will happen. You know, because I normally
So
always
he's
do.
saying is he doesn't like our picks.
No, I love our draft because it was fucking chaos.
What
but,
he's saying is you fucked everything up.
yeah, I mean that too. But all right. So that is it for episode 11. Like I said, we'll be here for the draft, day 1, day 2, and day 3, and then the podcast will be the next day. Thank you all for stopping out. I appreciate it, depending on where you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Stay out of trouble, stay safe, and we will talk to you all next week. Bye. Bye.